solo. Don't give it up now, man. Don't give it up, give it up, give it up, give it up, give it up.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I just got back from the One Piece regional event in Peoria. Today is April 16th, 2023, and I just wanted to talk about my experience. This is my first regional for One Piece. I play mostly Dragon Ball Super, but One Piece has been an incredibly fun game that I have been playing basically every week alongside Dragon Ball, and I have a lot to say on my first event. First and foremost, the event that was, I believe it was, Top Cut was the organizers of the event. I want to say they did a really good job hosting. Everything seemed pretty solid for the most part. There was an issue that I'll get to in a little bit, but for the most part, the event was done very well. Eggman and Ryan from Stage Zero were commentating. They were fantastic. I got to meet them, got to chat with them before the event started on Saturday, and super cool guys. Eggman, thank you so much for handing me an egg dice. I love it. And yeah, overall, I did not do so hot first round for the tournament on Saturday. Unfortunately, I went 2-7, and I think for the most part, my build wasn't as good as I was hoping it would be. I was stressing about the build for about 2 to 3 weeks, and I kind of walked in there with some false confidence because I had gone up against a bunch of Whitebeards and was winning. So I thought, this is the list for me. Got to the event, I lost to 3 Whitebeards in a row. My first was a Magellan that I won. My second was a Smoker. Luffy. It was a Luffy that I got close but lost to because of a top deck rusher. Third round was Smoker. And unfortunately, Black is Blue's worst matchup, and I was not able to get around that. Fourth round was Luffy again, which I did lose. Then we had Zoro, which was a very close game. I pulled that out as a win. And then it was 3 Whitebeards in a row. And then finally was another Smoker. And it just didn't work so hot. So overall, day one was not great. I think I placed like 375 out of 512. And the side event, though, I did much better. I went 3-3. First round was a win against, oh god, I cannot remember. It was first round win, second round loss, then win, then loss. And it ended up placing 21st out of the 64 players, and it was a solid. I was playing Dofi again, and I switched up the build a bit, and it worked way better. I only lost to a Garp, a Smoker, and a Kinemon that was just played great. The Smoker and Garp, obviously Black being Blue's worst matchup, didn't do so hot. But anyway, the event itself, I met a lot of great people, and it was super cool. I got to meet some people that I've been chatting with online for a while. I met new people that I added on Facebook, and it's super cool. I got a Alt Art Teach for my participation prizing. I got an Uta and a Ace for my promo packs. And I was able to trade for a Jinbei, which is what I really wanted. My roommate pulled a Jinbei, and one of my buddies there pulled 3 Jinbei. He got 3 promo packs, and all of them were Jinbei, which just blows my mind. But yeah, overall, the event was very good. And as you can see here, the top 16 event was for Swiss. The first day was Whitebeard, Kinemon, Zoro, Doflamingo, Law, Newgate. Whitebeard, Law, Kinemon, Doflamingo, Kinemon, Whitebeard. So 6 Whitebeards, 4 Kinemon, 3 Dofis, 2 Laws, and a Zoro. There was no presence of purple or black in the format, which is crazy. Purple, understandable. Black was putting in really good numbers, so I'm very surprised to not see any black in the top 16. And overall, Law did win the event, which was super cool. But And like the Dofi players too were absolutely insane. I'm super happy that Dofi got represented here. But once again, it does come down to a tournament mostly represented by Whitebeard and Kinemon for the most part. Law now is, I think, going to be a huge player going forward because of how well it did and obviously winning the event. Just being generic good leader for red and green cards. And then Dofi is putting in absolute work. People thought Ivankov was going to see more presence here, but Ivankov didn't make it, but 3 Doflamingos did, which was super cool. Overall, I had a great weekend. But this also just kind of reaffirmed my beliefs. And I will absolutely defend these until till the very end here. That Whitebeard needs a hit of some sort. Now, obviously, you're gonna have people like, whoa, it didn't win. Sure, it had like 6 representation out of the top 16, but it didn't win. The problem is, right now, One Piece is going through the same thing that Dragon Ball is going through, which is Red is going to be is dominating the format because Bandai loves Red. That's just how it is. Red's always going to be the more popular color and one of the more impressive colors because it always gets the most support. The fact that Whitebeard, all of my Whitebeard losses were the same, which was them playing 2 or possibly 3 9-drop new gates in like one after another. I could have a full board of 4 to 5 attackers swinging in for 8k, and you would never get past their defenses because not only do they have the strong Newgate having the strongest attack as a leader, he also has the fattest hand of any deck because you're essentially drawing 2 cards per turn, and now you're an 8k on your opponent's turn. You have the one Dawn open, so you can play your Guard Point or your Radical Beam, and then you have a fat hand of 1ks and 2ks to counter out of attacks. Whitebeard, as having the strongest attack power, should not be able to have the strongest defenses in the game. That should not be the case. Like how Red and Dragon Ball Super lost a lot of its defensive powers because it focused more on attack, which is one good thing I'll say about Red and Dragon Ball Super. Kinemon, I think Kinemon is really, really good. It takes a good Kinemon player to be able to control the board the way they do. Dofi, you have to play big brain moves with Dofi. And the Law, same deal. You know, you have to play it really well. And the player who played Law today did really, really well. The problem is with Law is its ability can't be triggered its ability can only be triggered once you have a full board, which most Law cards, you can easily play 1 drops, 2 drops to fill that board, and that's when its ability comes online. Even with the even though it has 1 less life, it's a dangerous thing. Zoro only having one representation in the top 16, that's crazy to me. But I think it's because we finally figured out how to beat Zoro. And I beat Zoro this weekend on all my games. So that I got a chance to play against it. And I understand. But anyway, back to what I was saying before. Red Newgate needs some type of an errata. Specifically, the 9-drop. Because the fact of the matter is, when players can play 2 to 3 of them back to back, preventing yourself from taking that last life or so is just astounding to me. Sorry, I'm getting messages on Facebook. Astounds me that doesn't feel right. It feels like the whole point of playing Newgate is that you have a 6k attacker, the strongest leader in the game, like power-wise. You have to. There's a downside to that. You get a higher attack power, yes, but you have to take a life per turn. That's the trade-off. And when you have a 9-drop card, which has no downside, in my opinion, you get a 10k body, you get that can wipe out low-cost blockers, and you get a 2k boost on your turn and your opponent's turn. Plus, you have a fat hand because you're essentially drawing 2 cards a turn. And you can run cards like Nami to search your Radical Beams, all of your One Piece not One Piece, sorry. All your Straw Hat cards that are 2K counters are searchable through Nami. Your Radical Beams, your Guard Points are all searchable. You have the best defense in the game. You should not it should not be possible to add an additional 2K on that during your turn and your opponent's turn. The 9-drop needs a hit. It needs to have a hit, something like, and I was talking to some buddies of mine there. We were talking about how, what if you play a second one, you don't get the 2K counter. The 2K power on the second one. You can choose to do that, but it's not gonna, there's no reason to play a second one if you don't get the 2K boost. Or, what I think is you should only be able to have one of them on board at a time. It's fine to play it to save yourself a turn, but you should not be allowed to play multiples of these consecutively. That's ridiculous. That's absolutely broken. Because there's really no downside for that card. As long as you have one life, it's just you can't get over that, because then you get two. If you play two Whitebeards, I'm so tired, by the way, if you didn't notice. If you play two 9-drops, you're swinging in 10Ks, which your opponent's not going to be able to counter out of. You get rid of their blockers with their abilities. It's just, in my opinion, it needs a hit. That's what I'll say on that. The second thing is, the way these tournaments are run with the Swiss format, and how your score is dictated about how your opponents throughout the day have done, I think it needs to change. There were a lot of... I looked at my scores. A lot of my opponents had dropped after like 3 rounds, which definitely hurt my score. And a lot of it comes down... I don't want people to be dropping from tournaments. You know, this is my own personal opinion. Feel free to tell me I'm wrong, but here's how I look at it. Your performance should not be dictated by how bad your opponents did earlier on, or have done throughout the day, or because your opponent decided to drop. A lot of people came into this event, lost their first round, and then dropped. One, I think that's crazy. I think that's an absolute waste of money and time. Then you have people that sign up for these side events just to get the prizing, and then drop. Which, once again, hurts your player score of all the people that continue to play. And a lot of people, I know one guy, I actually was sitting down from a couple of guys that didn't even pull out their decks or playmats for the side event. They were just like, when are we getting our prizing? Because they literally wanted to get their prizing and then they were dipping. It just... I think that's really stupid. And that's a hot take, maybe, but that's a personal opinion. I think going forward, to stop people from just dropping out of tournaments, they should not give out prizing until after the event. Now, maybe not do that for like the big event. Maybe like wait halfway through the event, then you get your prizing. But for a small event like the 64-man tournament, they should not give out prize support until after the event is done. It's 6 rounds. It's like 3.5 hours, maybe 4 hours tops. Just play the damn event. And then drop when you get your... afterwards. Like, well, obviously the tournament's done, but... yeah, I think that's a really stupid thing that people did. That's allowed to do, is to give your prize support, because they gave us the prize support when we sat down while we were playing our first match. And the final thing that really pissed me off about this weekend was that one of my buddies, it was during the 64-man tournament. He lost the first round. He's like, fine, whatever, he'll play the second round. The second round, his opponent no-showed. Didn't show up at all. So he went to go, submit that he was the winner. He accidentally clicked the other person's name, which, I mean, it is possible to do. And he submitted that the other person won. So, of course, he calls a judge over and says, hey, I made a mistake. My guy was a no-show, but I put down that he won. So can we get this swapped around? The judge didn't contact like the head judge of the event. He just said, sorry, no, we can't. His reasoning was because there was no way to verify that he really was the one that put in the that he was the one that submitted the my opponent won. Because he could not verify that it was my buddy that submitted it and not the other person, he could not do it. He literally told my buddy, you have to play like this. Sorry, you are now 0-2. And of course, that pissed off my friend. Because how the hell can you verify that it wasn't the other person who submitted it when the other person was not there? What you could have done was you could have gone on your loudspeaker and just said, hey, this person, come here to verify. And if that person doesn't show up, then, using your logic would dictate that my buddy in this situation was being truthful and the guy didn't show up. So my friend essentially lost to a no-show. I tried to talk him into finding the head judge and demanding to get this fixed. He was just in a bad mood. He ended up dropping because he was just pissed off at the way that this was handled, and I think it was absolutely handled it was handled improperly. And my buddy also was so pissed off at the situation. He was already 1-1. He decided to drop 2. I wish they hadn't, but they were just pissed off at the situation, and I was 1-1, and I wanted to see how far I could go, so I stayed. But yeah, top cut. I know Ben Ferris was not there for the second round, for the second day of tournament, but I think that was absolute bullshit, and that judge should be disciplined. But yeah, those are the bad things. Oh wait, one more thing. There's one more bad thing. The vendor. You had one vendor at this event, and honestly, I can say I don't know if this guy was the guy that owned it or was running it, but there was one gentleman who was wearing a Umbreon onesie or Kigu. I can't think of the full term for it. He was selling boxes of set 1 and 2 for ridiculous prices, like $200 for a box of set 2, $265 for a box of set 1. Ridiculous. I don't care who you are. Don't even try to argue that. That's ridiculous. And I remember hearing some guy mention he was selling the packs for $15 for packs of set 1, $9 for packs of set 2. And I heard some guy say those are priced a little high. And this guy literally, without missing a beat, says, well, I'm not lowering the price, so you can either buy them or you can move on. First of all, fuck you. Don't ever talk that way to somebody that you want to buy your product. You're in the wrong for selling it for that high. He's absolutely in his own... He can say that they're overpriced because they are. Then another gentleman who worked there, I asked him the price of Altart Alvita that he had on the table. He looks on TCG Player because they're not all priced out. Because, of course, turns out they were all whatnot resellers. So, once again, I don't like those type of people. They're just here to make a profit. They're just going to screw over people, but whatever. He looked through this list of prices on TCG Player, and there are a bunch of 5s, 5s, 5s. Then he found one that said 10. So, of course, he looks at me and says, oh, that'll be $10. No. Piss off. That was near mint. $10. The rest of them were $5. So I said, no, I'm good. People like that, they're just trying to, get as much money out of it as they can. So I think the vendors were trash. And yeah, as you can know, I'm tired. I'm ranting, but that's my experience of the Peoria regional. And to be honest, this is kind of giving me the desire to not want to play this game competitively for a while until the situation with Whitebeard has been addressed. It needs a hit of some kind. I'm sick of playing against it. I'm sick of it being unchecked, and you can beat it if you see everything you need to, and they don't get off 2 or more Whitebeards. I'll say that. But anyway, I think I'm going to end this video, post it, and let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. And I will see you guys on the next episode and the next video. Take care.
Here's how the story goes. We find out by the treasure in the grand line. There's no doubt. The pirate whose eye is on it, he'll sing. I'll be king of the pirates. I'm gonna be king.
His name is Luffy.
That's Monkey D. Luffy.